Welcome to Hypnosis Today, the nation's first web TV talk show that explores the fascinating world of hypnotherapy. My name is Lisa Mackenberg. I'll be your host, covering a wide variety of subjects to help you better understand the power of the subconscious mind and how hypnosis is being used today to help people achieve success, prosperity, and happiness. Today, I have two very special guests. Well, my first guest is Davida Moodley, and she is an honors grad of HMI College of Hypnotherapy. She is also a behavioral therapist with children on the autism spectrum. Now, Davida has her very special guest and client, Lisa. Lisa came to visit Davida to overcome test anxiety. Please help me welcome my guests. Lisa, I want to start with you. First of all, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Tell me a little bit about your test anxiety.
I was feeling very anxious, very stressed out. I couldn't sleep well. I wasn't eating right, and my thoughts were racing, and very nervous about the test that was ahead of me.
What kind of test were you taking?
It's a board-certified behavior analyst. It's a very tough exam. A lot of people don't pass on the first time, and there's a lot of information to remember. Absolutely.
And when you pass this test, what is your career goal?
To work in the school systems as a BCBA and help children with special needs.
Excellent. Now, Davida, boy, I'll tell you, test anxiety is a tough one because here it is, you need logic and reason, and all you have is fight or flight. Tell me a little bit about how you treat test anxiety and all different kinds of anxieties.
Well, Lisa, I have an interesting approach to test anxiety and hypnosis for this purpose. I've always had a passion for science, specifically quantum physics.
Quantum physics and hypnosis? I need to know more.
Yes, there's a very interesting correlation that's been shown by neuropsychological research and brain scans that shows the quantum world is actually reflected in states of hypnosis and other altered states of mind where you can actually access this consciousness, and basically in this consciousness all states of time and space exist.
So you're saying that with quantum physics we are learning scientifically that instead of time being linear, time is more like a mountain range that all exists at once. We only perceive it as linear. Is that correct?
That's correct, Lisa.
How would we use that to help someone with test anxiety?
By utilizing hypnosis, you actually open them up to the simultaneous effect of being able to access past, present, and future self. So Lisa in the past, while she may have been stressed and anxious, meeting Lisa in the present, being confident, passing her exam, are two different versions of self that equally exist. So by helping her release the past and access the future self, she's able to now create a new reality.
Lisa, this is a very, very complex and interesting worldview. What did you think about it when Davida explained it to you?
I thought it was a very interesting idea, and I was open to it.
And you're saying that we can access these different worlds or dimensions or timelines with trance states. How?
Well, Lisa, basically what happens is that in a trance state, you overcome the perception of time being linear and reality being so material and solid. And when you overcome this perception, you're able to understand that there are actually multiple opportunities that exist, or multiple realities. In scientific terms, that would be multiple wavefronts. So on accessing and activating a particular reality, you're collapsing those wavefronts scientifically and then tapping into a new reality in that state. And upon waking state, that becomes your new world with subtle shifts in behavior and thoughts.
Tell me what kind of an induction you used to get into a trance state.
I used a rapid induction to bring her into the state, and then I had her imagine herself in a world of time and space where she ascended from her own body, and she was able to view multiple possibilities of her life.
Hang tight and hold that thought. Lisa, what did that feel like for you?
It felt really relaxing, and it felt like I was achieving a new height.
Did you feel it? Did you see it? Did you sense it? Did you hear it?
I felt it. I sensed it. I saw it. Everything. Yeah, definitely everything.
And you could see all the different possibilities?
Absolutely.
And then could you choose a new reality?
Yes.
Tell me about that.
I just was able to focus in on what my goals were, and I was able to take hold of that and be confident that I would be victorious.
Wow. Davida, so here she is looking at all of them, and then our client, with her wonderful autonomy, chooses the future that is already there, that she wants to move into, not only in the trance realm, but in the real realm of passing the exam and achieving your goals. How do you get her to take that reality from there to here?
Well, there's a couple of steps in that. First of all, immersing herself like she did in reality and sensing and feeling it, the brain begins to perceive it as real. As we know, the brain cannot tell the difference between reality and fantasy. Once that is perceived, on waking state, there's certain shifts in her personality, in her behavior and thoughts, which I give a post-hypnotic suggestion that all conscious and subconscious behavior will now be directed to shifting to this new reality.
How did that work? When you came into a full waking state, we call this a beta state, for those of you who are taking notes at home, how were you able to access that reality?
Because I was so calm and confident, I was able to understand the material much better and hold on to it. Whereas before, I would, lose it much quicker. And I was able to walk into the exam and not be nervous and remember everything that Davida had said to me and to utilize that to answer the questions.
So take us through that day. Where were you taking the test? Was it at a school, at your computer?
It's a testing center which has a computer.
And when you walked in, what used to happen to you when you walked into that testing center?
Nerves freeze up, just want to rush through it, become exhausted halfway through.
When was the first time you noticed a difference?
The second time I took the test, yeah.
So you walked in, you sat down, the first question pops up. Take us through that.
I didn't panic. The second time I didn't panic, and I was able to flow easily through all of the questions, and it took me half the time.
How do you get someone to access it when they are in the situation that in the past has triggered anxiety?
I gave Lisa an anchor that she could use.
What was the anchor, Lisa?
Hold on to the pen, and it would help me to remember the answer.
So you used an actual pen like people used to study.
Right.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it a lot. And so you held onto your pen and
the answers easily came to me. And if I didn't know it, I just thought back to what Davida said, and I was able to pick the right answer.
Well, I'm going to challenge you by asking you a question.
Sure.
You took it for the second time. You had already seen Davida. Tell me about the results of that test.
My score jumped higher, and I passed.
Really?
And it was a significant increase.
You know, you learned a lot of skills for test anxiety, and now you're done with taking this test. I know there'll be other tests continuing education.
Yeah.
I know. And what other areas, besides test taking, are you going to use the set of skills that you learned with Davida?
Definitely, I actually have been using them to eat healthier and watch my weight, and even in my job, just because it's a very stressful job, and there's a lot of different kids with different disabilities that you have to deal with and different behaviors.
Yes.
And I'm able to walk in and keep myself calm and know that in this situation I am confident and I will be able to access the information that I learned to help these children.
Now we're going to move off of test anxiety just for a moment. Davida, in what other areas are you using quantum physics in hypnotherapy?
Well, the great thing about hypnotherapy and quantum physics is that I've been able to use it over such a widespread amount of issues, because it basically refers to everything from health, improving your health, medical conditions, weight loss, to performance, and just in bettering your life. It's whatever an individual wants to achieve, we can access their future self to give them the skills, information, and knowledge to become that.
Well, I have a philosophical question for both of you, if you don't mind. I'll take a little journey this way. If time is like a mountain range, and we are finding that from science, is the future set, Or are there multiple futures and the different ones are accessed by the different choices the person makes in the now? And I'm going to let Lisa go first to answer that question.
I believe it's about choices, and it's the power of your mind that takes you to that future.
So in another reality, in another dimension, you could have had test anxiety for another 365,000 years.
Absolutely.
But you accessed, by seeing the bigger vision, the one that you chose of being successful and moving into a dynamic and satisfying career.
Yes.
Same question, Davida. Is there a set future, or do people, are they able to choose the future that they would like to manifest?
I think people, human beings, have such infinite power, and we're just beginning to tap into it with this knowledge. And indeed, that there are multiple versions and versions of ourselves and realities. It just means enhancing that power, or embracing it, and making the choices, like Lisa said, making the conscious and subconscious choices to tap into that. And it makes me feel that anyone can be anything they want, and they already really are. It's just about tapping into it.
You know, just a practical question. If somebody had test anxiety or any kind of anxiety, what would you say to that person about hypnotherapy?
I would say do it. It's an amazing experience, and it's going to benefit every area of your life.
What would you say about working with Davida?
Oh, she's wonderful. She is so calming, and I think she is the perfect person to have this experience with, because she helps you to be calm and take that journey.
Davida, everyone's going to want to know more about hypnotherapy and quantum physics and where the two intersect. And anybody who would like to contact Davida Moodley can reach her on hmigrads.com. Well, we need to take a short break, but please stay tuned, because when we return, we're going to meet another HMI hypnotherapist and learn about how to use hypnosis to overcome procrastination. Stay tuned. There's a lot more coming up on Hypnosis Today. Please help me welcome my guests. Lisa, I want to start with you. First of all, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Tell me a little bit about your test anxiety.
I was feeling very anxious, very stressed out. I couldn't sleep well. I wasn't eating right, and my thoughts were racing, and very nervous about the test that was ahead of me.
What kind of test were you taking?
It's a board-certified behavior.
Understand the power of the subconscious mind, and how hypnosis is being used today to help people achieve success, prosperity, and happiness. Today, I have two very special guests. Well, my first guest is Davida Moodley, and she is an honors grad of HMI College of Hypnotherapy. She is also a behavioral therapist with children on the autism spectrum. Now, Davida has her very special guest and client, Lisa. Lisa came to visit Davida to overcome test anxiety.
You're an analyst. It's a very tough exam. A lot of people don't pass on the first time, and there's a lot of information to remember.
Absolutely. And when you pass this test, what is your career goal?
To work in the school systems as a BCBA and help children with special needs.
Excellent. Now, Davida, boy, I'll tell you, test anxiety is a tough one, because here it is, you need logic and reason, and all you have is fight or flight. Tell me a little bit about how you treat test anxiety and all different kinds of anxieties.
Well, Lisa, I have an interesting approach to test anxiety and hypnosis for this purpose. I've always had a passion for science, specifically quantum physics.
Quantum physics and hypnosis? I need to know more.
Yes, there's a very interesting correlation that's been shown by neuropsychological research and brain scans that shows the quantum world is actually reflected in states of hypnosis and other altered states of mind, where you can actually access this conscious
Welcome to Hypnosis Today, the nation's first web TV talk show that explores the fascinating world of hypnotherapy. My name is Lisa Mackenberg. I'll be your host, covering a wide variety of subjects to help you better